is LAX2047 group 86, and my name is Abraham SOIDI, and my metric number is 204165.
Hello, my name is INTAN NAZIRAH binti SAHLAN and my metric number is 199047.
Hello everyone, my name is JINBO and my metric number is 200161.
Hello, my name is XINYU. My metric number is 204826. I'm from Faculty of Modern Language and Communication.
Good morning, everyone. My name is HAUWA GUDUF and my metric number is 200044.
Hello everyone, my name is LAURASHARWINI SIVAKUMAR. My matrix number is 200534.
So, hi everyone, nice to know you guys. So, as everyone knows, this is our first meeting for LAX2047 group 86. And our agenda today, we are going to decide the global issues, the two global issues that we are going to discuss and decide, and then we are going to divide our group and the turns of the group. So anybody want to start giving the ideas for the global issues?
Can I go first? All right, so I have two ideas in mind. The first would be about mental health issues, because as per United Nations, they have a few goals for their SGD, right? So under that, we have mental health as well. And this is an issue that's becoming very prevalent nowadays. Everyone is very keen about health issues because there's too much of stress around. And it's very easy to put mental issues into poem writing because we can be literal or figurative and it will make a very creative poem. So the first is mental issue. The second is poverty, which also again is one of the SGDs under UN. And I think it will be also easy to express poverty in poem. So these two are my suggestions for the global issues. That's all. Does anyone else have any suggestions?
If everyone is still thinking of the idea, I have one in mind, which is, can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so what I have in mind is about environment, because we are staying at the home for the past year, right? For 1 year, we've been seeing a lot of environment pollutions that was really bad. The issue is out of hand, and also seeing some of the responsible entities that supposed to be doing their job, but they are not doing their job. So I think environment pollution is also one of the global issues that we can address about in our group discussion. I think that is my suggestion. So anyone else?
All right, I think I want to continue with the global issues. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
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 All right. Okay. So I'm not actually my issues are same with Abe's issues, where I choose the global environmental issues since nowadays this issue is quite popular, And literally, people just see this problem is not a serious problem, so we should consider for this issue. Where I have got three what we call as three subtopics under these issues, which about the habitat and biodiversity loss. Second is ocean conservation. Third is the water scarcity. Whereas the under the habitat and biodiversity loss, where nowadays there are many deforestation activity, where this could lead to build the infrastructure, to build school, to build the houses, and this will impact the biodiversity of other living things, such as animals and plants that we need them to, and animals that we need them. And third is the water scarcity. Where this is the nowadays there are lacking of clean water consumption, where all of us need clean water to use in our daily life, such as drinking and clean. So clean. So that's all from me. So who's next?
I get two global issues. One issue just mentioned below, environmental pollution. Nowadays, we can easily see that many medical waste, such as masks, gloves, discarded around the land and the sea. And the second issue I find is farming problem. Farming problem impact on food supply, food security, and agricultural production. According to latest UN estimates, probably as many as 130 million people go hungry in 2020 as a result of the economy recession triggered by the pandemic. Also, the COVID-19 hit global transportation that is important to food security and may lead to farming problem as well. Okay, that's my two issues.
And the global issues that I choose is wildlife conservation. By conserve wildlife, we are ensuring that future generation can be enjoyed our natural world and the incredible species that live with them. To help protect wildlife, it's important to understand how species interact with their ecosystem and how they are affected by environmental and human influence. Conserving fauna and flora encourages ecological stability and balance in the world. For example, if humans fail to conserve wildlife and natural habits, it would lead to the destruction of water supply sources, causing drought and desert.
Okay, so the point I got is we have global pandemic, deforestation, and mental health, but it was already mentioned by you guys. So I got a new one, which is food security and gender equality. So for the food security is like the availability of food for everyone, like there should be balanced diet, like kind of food nutrition, you know? And then for the gender equality, there should be gender equality between the male and the female. Like an example, for an example, is like the females are not allowed to go to school or do many things, only males are allowed. So there should be gender equality, the females should also be allowed to do things. Example.
So allow me to just summarize all the ideas that we gave just now. So just let me know if it's right or wrong. So Abe gave the idea about environmental issues, right? and then followed by my idea on mental health and poverty. And then INTAN gave the idea on environmental issues, which were divided into 3 different parts. The first was habitat and biodiversity, and then we have ocean conservation and also water scarcity. And then Lee XINYU suggested 2 more global issues, which were environmental pollution and food supply, basically food security. And then we have Lee JINBO's idea on wildlife conservation. And HAUWA gave 4 more ideas, 5, global pandemic, deforestation, mental health, food security, and gender equality. So we have a lot of similar suggestions. So I typed them in the chat box here for all of us to see. And now we can decide on the topics that are similar, the topics that we want to choose, and the topics we don't want to choose. So did I get the list right?
Yes, and as we can see in the chat box, where there are 8 issues that we have chose, where environmental issue, mental health, food security, wildlife preservation, global pandemic, gender equality, poverty, and deforestation. And I think one of the issue that we have chosen are the same to one another, such as the environmental issue is we can include the deforestation and also the wildlife preservation under the environmental issue. So we can minimize the choosing of an issue.
I agree with that. I think we can combine several of the topics together to make the decision easier.
So I combined a few issues. So I combined deforestation, wildlife preservation, and environmental issues under one topic, which is environment. So we can include flora, fauna, wildlife, all under environmental issues. So that's one main topic. And the second is mental health. And the third is food security. Fourth is global pandemic. Fifth is gender equality. And the last would be poverty. But I have one question to ask. Is poverty related to food security or not? Or we can combine those into one topic as well.
Maybe we can hear this explanation from Lee XINYU again, because I think he is the one who's explaining and giving these issues topic.
Okay, now let me introduce about the food security. Just I mentioned the farming problem. Farming problem is a very general problem during the pandemic. The reason is economicization triggered by the pandemic. So the economic recession triggered many social issues. For example, food security and mentioned poverty as well. So I think we can choose for secret farming problem. So in this issue we can mention food security and also some poverty leads to farming as well. Yeah.
I think we can proceed with the next agenda, or we have to discuss other things.
So I think that we can take environmental issue, mental health, food security, and global pandemic as the top four topics. I think we can include poverty under food security. And gender equality, do you guys feel it's okay if we remove it from the suggestion?
I think yes.
Okay, so
Yeah. You may give
Because
your.
all right. So the top 4 issues we chose is again environmental issue, mental health, food security, and global pandemic. So now we have to divide ourselves into 2 different groups and choose our respective topics for our 2 poems. So who is going to be in group 1? We need 3 people. I can be in group 1.
To.
me also can be in group 1.
All right. So me, Intan, and Abraham in group 1. So group 2 is XINYU, JINBO, and HAUWA. Is it right? Okay. So for group 1, let me give group 2 the choice. What 2 topics do you guys want to talk about in your poem? To write about? Guys, group 2, you guys can choose the topic you want. 2 topics.
Okay, we're checking first.
Maybe the environmental issues and food security, because our group members just mentioned, so will be more easy for us to.
Yeah.
Okay. So group 1, we have mental health and global pandemic. Are we okay with that?
Just now in group 1, you
Yes.
choose environmental issue and food security. Am I right? Group 1.
Group 2, group 2.
Group 2?
They are group 2, we are group 1. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so group 1 got mental health and global pandemic. Group 2 has environmental issues and food security. So we have discussed the global issues. We have divided the groups. So I think that's all. And since I called you guys group 1 and 2, are you guys okay with the order? So group 1 will be reciting their first poem in the next meeting. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. So I think that's all for our first group discussion. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.